The earth itself remembers. That's all I have to say. This is the story of the bloodiest day in human history. It took place during World War I in the year 1916. The battle raged for 141 days, but one day stood out from the rest. July 1st, 1916. On that day, 60,000 British soldiers were killed or wounded. But what made this day so special? What happened on July 1st, 1916? Back then, the British and the Germans had been at war for a while. Each side wanted to take land from the other. The British wanted to capture a piece of Germany, while the Germans wanted to capture a piece of Britain. At the time, the fighting was happening on the Western Front. This was a stretch of land about 470 miles long. It ran from Switzerland to the North Sea. Both sides had dug elaborate networks of trenches here. These trenches acted as both homes and safe zones for soldiers. Life in these trenches was awful, though. Soldiers slept, ate, and fought in the same space. They constantly feared an attack, and they were often bored out of their minds. For months, there was little action on the Western Front. It was an uneasy stalemate. Then, in early July 1916, the British decided to break the stalemate. They planned a massive offensive. Their goal was to push into enemy territory and advance at least 25 miles. To do this, they would need to capture a small village called Serre. The British High Command thought that capturing this village would be easy. They estimated that it would take just a few hours. So they drew up plans for July 1st. They ordered thousands of troops to march into Serre. Once there, they would secure the village and hold it. Simple, right? Wrong. What the British commanders did not know was that the German trenches surrounding Serre were guarded by powerful new weapons, machine guns. These weapons could fire hundreds of bullets a minute. They quickly mowed down anyone who came near them. And that is exactly what happened on July 1st, 1916. As the men charged across the fields, they were mowed down by machine guns. Entire units were wiped out in minutes. The British suffered the worst defeat in their army's history. 60,000 men were either killed or wounded. That's 1 out of every 3 men. Imagine charging into battle, seeing your friends die all around you, and then being too scared to move. That's what happened to Private Harold Bebbington. He survived the initial volley of bullets, but then he saw his comrades fall one by one. Before he knew it, he was surrounded by corpses. In the end, he surrendered to the Germans. He later said, quote, "We went over the top and did our best. We couldn't do anything more than that after we got there. We were simply walking into a hailstorm of bullets." To this day, people still visit the site of the battle. They come to pay their respects to the fallen soldiers. There are over 700 military cemeteries on the Somme, each filled with thousands of bodies. Many of the dead soldiers were never even identified. All these years later, their bodies are still in the ground. The world will probably never know how many total soldiers died on the Somme. Historians estimate that over 1 million men died for just 1 mile of ground. That's why I say, the earth itself remembers. If you want to hear more stories like this one, stay tuned.